Okay, so this is where we left off last time. We've got our custom post type for the turbo trainer set up, but it's not formatted. So we'll just go and have a look at the live site that we're currently copying or using as a case study. So it's turbotrainer.com. I'll just get on this site and I'll find the turbo trainer that we've got the images for we used in our case study. So it's an Elite. And it's this one here, the wireless digital. So we're going to end up formatting it to look like this, but for now I'm just going to edit the one we set up in the last video with the real name and real specification, just so we can do an exact copy and set it out and format it right. So I'll put the title in, and also I'll paste that into the URL just so the URL is correct. And now I'll just copy over these different specs. So the RRP is 33399.99. It's Elite, and that's the model name there, the Quiver Wireless Digital, so let's paste that in. The breaking type, resistance level, control, you've already got them right. Yep, and so I'll just copy the description in. And of course, when I did this for the first time on the proper site, the one we're using here, I had to research and write all this, but now we can just cut and paste it to make things a lot quicker. I'll just check this is laid out right, space it out a bit. Yep, that looks good. And then of course we've got the images, but we've already got them. And there's a price comparison which we'll do later. So yep, I'll close that down. Okay, there's our images. So let's update that. So now we've got a real product custom post. So all the information is there, but it's not laid out properly, obviously, as you can see. But there's the price and there's the model name, so it's all there. It's just all piled up on top of each other. And I shouldn't have shut that down, so I'll open that up again. So I'll open up the live site that we're using as a case study, and I'll find that trainer again. Okay, so now we'll use this to lay out our new one. So we just need to style our new custom post type. And again, the price comparison will come later, and that's obviously a major part, but that's a whole video by itself. So we'll do this using Views, which is the plugin that came with the Types plugin that we used to create the custom posts. So we go Views, Content Template, and we've got one in there. So that's what's showing the information at the moment. It says just all the shortcodes for all the different custom fields. But we don't want that. I'm going to start again, so I'm going to delete that because I just made this one quickly just to show you the process in the last video, but we'll do it properly now. So I'll just trash that and then empty the trash. Right, so I'll add a new content template. I'll say I want to assign it to Turbo Trainers, custom post type, and I'll just give it a name. This can be anything you want, but I'll call it Turbo Trainer Product Layout. Okay, so here it is. Here's our blank template to start styling that custom post type. So I'll click V, and that means we've got access to all our custom fields. So we'll do the images first. So I'll have a look. See, so we've got the two images at the bottom, and they're quite small. It's actually 320 wide. So I'll just click image 2, because it's image 2 and image 3 that we want. In the title field of the image, I'll just put some text there as a holder text at the moment. So image title goes here, or image title here, and alt text here. We'll edit this later. We'll just say line left, and then we want to do custom size, and like I said, we want it 320. But actually, as you'll see, this doesn't seem to do anything. It doesn't seem to style it. It doesn't seem to set the width and height properly, but we'll put it in for now, and I'll show you how I get around this. Okay, so instead of doing that again, I can just copy that and paste it because we know this other field is image 3. I'll just update it, and we'll see how our Turbo Trainer looks. So let's open that in a new tab, and then we'll view this Turbo Trainer custom post that we set up. And we've got nothing, we've just got the title, and that's because we've deleted your content template and we've created a new one. So we need to assign the new content template, which was saying show the two images, and there they are, the two images. And like I said, they're not styled by width. That's the correct width, that's what the size it should be, but they're far too big in our image. So what we're going to do is we're going to style these with CSS. So I'm going to create a div around each of these images. So div ID, and I'll just call it extra images. You can call it whatever you want. So that's our div name, and that's what we'll style in a bit. I'll put the closing div tags. And it's exactly the same div around the other image, so I'll just copy that and paste it. Right, then we'll go down to the styling window below, which is a really neat feature of this view, is you can do this all in one area. So hash, give it the ID name, extra images, open closed curly brackets, and here's where we put our styling. So the first thing I want to do is I want to float it left, and then I want to give it a max width of 320 pixels. So hopefully this will constrain the maximum size of our divs and therefore our images. So update that and then we'll have a look. And yep, great. So they've shrunk down to 320 and also they're floating left on, but they float next to each other. But on the live site, they've got a nice bit of padding between them, so we'll add that in now. So let's go back into our styling and do padding 2%. See how that looks. So update and refresh our page. You see that's pushed them and spread them out by a little bit, and it looks nice. So next thing we want to add a green divider line above it, and what I'm going to do this is I'm going to create a new div which is going to hold both of these images in it. So we'll call that extra images holder div. It's a convenient name. Then we'll create the styling for this new holder div we've created, and I'll just copy that old styling and just modify it. So it's called extra images holder. I'll delete that, what's in there at the moment. I want to give it a width 100% because we want it to be the full width of the page area it's in. And then you want to give it a top border, and you give it a green color. First we'll say you want it a solid line, you want it 1 pixel size, and then you want a green color. So the reference code for the green, and we use is 66CC66. See what that looks like. There it is, we've got a green line. It looks all right, but the green line on the live site is a little bit more spaced out at the top, so I'm just going to add a little bit of extra padding top just to push this green line up a little bit. Just a little bit, 5 pixels will do probably. We'll have a look at that. Yep, it's just pushed up a little bit compared to the other side, live site. Looks pretty good. And you'll see if I shrink this down and modify the width of our screen or page, you see the images stack up underneath each other, and also they're responsive, so they shrink when the screen gets too small. So that'll look nice on a mobile phone, so that's great. One other thing that we haven't done yet, if you hover over these images on the live site, see it actually says the name of the turbo train, and this is actually the title of the page. Whereas ours, and the one we've done, they've just got a holder text that we put in at the start. So we need to replace that holder text with some kind of code that tells us the turbo trainer name, and it's actually the title. If we push V, and then we've got the shortcode to show the title. So we'll just cut that, and I'll paste that shortcode into these alt and title tags in our images. And we'll see if that does the trick. We have to refresh our page, of course. And there it is. If we hover over the images now, it shows us the name of our turbo trainer, which is great. So that's that part done. So now we'll move on to the next styling. We might as well do the top part of the product page there. So the first thing I'll do is I'm just going to push all this images code down, and I'm going to add the shortcodes for the different specifications. So the RRP, just insert that. And the next one is brand. Insert that. I'm just going to speed this up because I'm just going to add all of the other specification fields the same way. So it's just clicking on V, which opens up the views windows, and you select the custom field that you want. Okay, so that's all the specifications done. And actually, while I'm here and doing this, I'm just going to add the description field just so it's there, but I'll modify that later and style that later, but I'm just going to add it now. And also I'll add the price comparison shortcode while we're at it. Again, I'll format this later, but we'll just stick it in there for now. Right, so I'll just update. And we'll see how that affects our custom post. There it is, that's all the information in there now. But as we knew, it's not styled. You've probably spotted the obvious mistake. I forgot to add the main image of the turbo trainer, which is image 1, so I'll just go down and quickly add that. And again, I'll just put in some holder text for the image title and alt tags, but we'll change that later. We'll leave the alignment as none this time, but as we saw before, it's the divs that we create later that do all this. And I'll set the custom size again. I'll do it 350 this time to be a bit bigger, but again, the width we'll control with the div anyway. So we'll insert the shortcode, update. And before I forget, instead of having the image title and image tag, alt tag as these default names, we'll post in the shortcode to show the product title, update that, and now we'll refresh. And there's our image, and if we hover over it, it says the name of the turbo trainer. But we need to style it, so I'm going to put a div around all this specification data for the turbo trainers, the RRP, etc. So I'll call this div top left area because it's going to be in the top left of the screen. I'll copy that and paste it because we want a div around the image, the feature image, and I'll call that top right area. So you want that to be at the right at the top. And just put the closing div tags here, one around the right section and one around the left section. And then I'll copy the name of the first div and I'll go down and style it in the CSS. And like I said, it's really neat and convenient having this styling form just below where you put in the HTML code. So hashtag name of the div, curly brackets, and then this left one, I just want to float it left. Copy that, paste it. And then the right div, we just want to float that right. And I forgot the semicolon of that left one, so I'll stick that in. See what that's done to our custom post. And it's done what we told it to do, but the description is making things look a mess. Sort that out. First I'll do is I'm going to set the max width to 350 for this main image of the turbo trainer. Right, so now I'm going to create some styling that will basically mean that the description falls below the main image. And to do this, you use the clear parameter. And if you go clear both, it means nothing is to the left and nothing is to the right of it. So basically, it creates a division between sections. So just call this, I've styled this and I called it clear all. So just put the div clear all with the closing bracket straight after it in below the main image. So now when I look at the page, it's basically cleared everything to the left and to the right of this new div, so the description now falls below, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so if you look at the specs, there's a faint grey line below each of the different parameters. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new div and put it around and put each of these different specification parameters or shortcodes within this div. I'm just going to put a little bit of style on this div that I'll say put a grey line beneath it. So it's going to be the same div around each one of these specification shortcodes. So I'll just copy and paste that in, and remember to copy and paste the closing div tags too. So now each of the specifications is held between this new div. We'll just put the style in, so I'll copy the name of that, and then we'll do the hashtag and then the name of that div. And I'm just going to say border bottom I want a solid line, so solid, which wants to be 1 pixel size, 1 pixel, and then it needs to be this light grey colour, and I know this is F0, 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 semicolon. Let's bump that up. Right, so this will create a thin, light grey line underneath each one of these different spec parameters for the turbo training, which it has. So next thing, we need to put a title to each one of these. So we need RRP here, and I want it to be bold, so I'll put the B tags around it to make this bold, and I need a pound sign to be like that. Right, so we'll do the other ones. Just want to space it out correctly. Close a bold tag, and then it's going to be, the tag's going to be bold for all of them, so I'm just going to create the bold tags, the B open and close and B tags, and then paste it into all of these. Stick the colons there too. And now in between these bold tags, I'm just going to write the different heading names. So this one's going to be brand, and we've got model, which I can't spell right, and we've got braking, and resistance level and controller, the last two. Forgot my colon. Right, and the last one is control. We'll check it out. So it's nearly right, but you'll see RRP's got it twice. That's because when I pasted the shortcode originally, I've said tell us the field name as well. So I'll just delete that because we don't want it to show the field name. We want it to use the bold field name or title that we just put in. So hopefully this will disappear now. Which it has, so that's looking decent, that's looking good. There's a green line, thin green line above this area, so we'll put that in now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a final holder which is going to go around this whole top area, because this is the easiest way to do this section. So I've created a new div called main top holder, which goes around all of the specification and main title. And I copy that and I put too many parts at the end. So I'll create a new styling under this div ID name of main top holder, and it's going to have a width of 100%. It must be the full width of the area it's in. It's going to have a border top. Again, it's going to be solid and 1 pixel, it's just a thin line, and it's going to be that green color. So remember, that's the 66CC66 code for that color. We'll see if this line shows up. And it hasn't, so that means something must be wrong. I'll have a look at my styling first, and I forgot the semicolon after width. So little things like that can make things not work, so it's always good to check. And there it is, it shows up now, but it's not spaced out right, so we just need to space it out a little bit. We need a bit of padding, top 15 pixels. And also it's quite tight to the title, and I'm going to put a margin top. Instead I'm going to put minus 23 pixels. This is going to make the title a bit closer. And that looks nice, but we've got all these meta tags here of like the date and the name of the post and things like that. And we want to get rid of that. An easy way to get rid of this is to use the Genesis Simple Edits plugin, which I'm going to install now. just do the plugins and add a new one. Just type in simple edits, and it's that one there, the Genesis simple edits. So just install this. This is a great thing about Genesis. It's got all these neat little plugins that work with it. And this will just easily let me get rid of that. So it's there. So under the Genesis tab now, we've got simple edits. That wasn't there before. And then it says post info, and also this post meta. We want to get rid of that. So I'll delete that. And we've also got something at the bottom, say filed under. So this is post meta. So we'll delete that too and just update it. And here you can set the footer font and footer text as well, but we're not going to do that now. So if we refresh our page, I've deleted those things. See, that file has disappeared. Also, that stuff at the top's disappeared. All right, so what we're going to do now, we've got the price comparison that we're not going to do. We're going to do that later. So we've got a green line above the price comparison and also by now at, and we've also got a green line above the description. And the price comparison is supposed to come above the description, so we'll just swap those around. And we'll create a new div, so I'll just copy the name of that one, and we'll call this new div price comparison. And then of course this is going to go around our price comparison shortcode, so I'll put the closing div tags. And I'll create a new div around our description, because of course we want to style that as well. And I'll just call this one description. Don't want to copy that. I want to copy the name of the ID. So the price comparison ID is called price comparison. So let's copy that name, and we'll go down to our styling. Just do some quick styling here, just to add these green lines and get the spacing right if we have to. So I'll stick it here. So hash div name, then also we'll do the hash, and then we'll put the description one in there as well, because we might as well do them both together. All right, so we want to give it some padding top and also margin top. And I know these values, so I'm just going to put them in quickly, but originally it was a bit of trial and error when I was doing the live site first off, but I know these values. And then finally I want to give it a border top, and again it's just a thin solid line of this green color, which is 66cc66. All right, so I'm just going to copy that border down into the description tag, so we know that's the same. And I need to stick some padding top on this description. All right, and a little bit of margin top. So it's just some quick styling of these two divs. So if I refresh our page now, hopefully it'll look pretty close. Yeah, so everything seems to be spread out quite nice now with all the green lines and divs compared to a live one. So I'll just put some bold text by it now in this price comparison, just so it looks similar. I'll just put the B tag and then by it now at and closing bold tags. I think that's right. Which it is, and when that's got the price comparison, it'll look much nicer, but I think the rest of the styling is just about there. But the great thing now is, now we've got this custom post type and the custom page template, or the layout of the template, we can just create a new turbo trainer now. So I'll just click on the live site. So we've got this is a different turbo trainer now, different images, different text. So we can easily recreate this one on our site that we're setting up now. So I'm just going to save these images just to show you how quick it is. So I'm just going to copy the images from the live site, just call it image 1. And I'll copy these two images. So I'm just right clicking on the images and going to save as, and I'm just saving them to the desktop of my laptop that I'm working off here. Let's call that one image 2, this one image 3. Save them as JPEGs onto my desktop. Right, so we go onto our site we're developing, and then I'll just go new turbo trainer. I'm just going to copy these over. So again, when I did them originally, when I set up this live site, I had to do all the research and get all these details, but I know these. So just paste them in. So it's an elite, and it's called a real tour. I'm just going to copy it. Electromagnetic, medium, and then it's a virtual reality trainer. Let's copy this description text, bring it in there, and we'll just do the images. So you see how quick this is. So once you've got these custom post types set up, it makes it real quick to add new products. So whatever you're doing, obviously I'm doing turbo trainers here, but if you're doing a site about something else, you can create your own custom post type with your own custom fields, and then it's quick and easy to add new products to your site. Okay, right, this is the last image now. And again, I'll just put some text in here, but I'll show you how to set up this price comparison soon in a new video. So that's all the fields, and it's as simple as that. So I'll just, oh, I have to remember to put the content template name, but that should be there. So I'm going to update that. And if I view it, as if by magic, it's all laid out perfectly like it should be using that view custom template that we set up just before. If you hover over the images, it tells us the name of that turbo trainer. But that when I was setting it up, that content template should have been recognized already, and I don't know why it wasn't, because I'm sure it did it. But I'm just going to go down to our view that we've been working on, and it says used on no post types, and it should say used on turbo trainer post types. And here on the right hand side, I'm going to say use this on turbo trainer post types automatically, so I don't have to remember to set it every time I set up a new turbo trainer. So we'll just check that. So turbo trainer add new, and now you'll see the content template's already set up, so I don't have to set that now. So that's great. And I'm sure I set it up before, but something must have gone wrong. You now know how to create custom post types and then style them using types and views. And we're ready to move on to the next stage, which will be looking at putting the price comparisons on the site. As always, head over to neilcurtis.me where you'll get all the latest updates.